Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your midday news fix for Friday the 17th of May. The Transport Minister says a funding boost for surf lifesaving and Coast Guard will help keep people safer in the water. Simeon Brown's announced the government's providing an extra almost $16 million a year over the next 4 years to bolster services across the country. He says Coast Guard rescues more than 6,000 people a year, and with New Zealand's high drowning toll, frontline rescue services are needed more than ever.
Ultimately, there's a tragic number. I think it was 90 deaths. There's a lot of work that's done by WaterSafe New Zealand around reducing that. We want to see a reduction in those numbers over time.
The Prime Minister says he expects an ongoing daily habit from public service CEOs to question every dollar spent. There are now less than 2 weeks until the budget, the deadline by which government agency chief executives were asked to find 6.5% savings. But Chris Luxon says it doesn't end with the budget. He wants it to be the start of a permanent culture shift within ministries.
We are also wanting to see an ongoing discipline being built into the public service to make sure that taxpayers' money is treated respectfully. And so we want every dollar that's raised actually deployed towards delivering improved outcomes.
Meanwhile, the government's fronting on cuts to the Commerce Commission. Newstalk ZB has revealed the Commission is looking at cutting roles in its legal council and in teams that work with supermarket and petrol prices. Minister of Commerce and Consumer Affairs Andrew Bailey says the proposed changes are small relative to the Commission's growth. He says he's made a clear expectation that changes do not affect regulating market competition. The man accused of a fatal stabbing at Christchurch's City Mission has had his charge dropped. Blake Benny reports.
22-year-old Jordan Morris died after being stabbed in the abdomen at the Hereford Street shelter in March. A 67-year-old man was charged with murder, but has walked free this morning. It's after the Crown outlined there was no chance of conviction based on the evidence in the High Court.
Temporary name suppression was granted, but a full hearing will be held to determine if that will be made permanent. Hopes for a resolution to the deadly unrest facing one of our nearest neighbours. New Caledonia is in a state of emergency after several days of fires, armed clashes and mass looting, in which at least 4 people have died and hundreds more have been injured. It's understood the international airport at Noumea may be opening tomorrow. Belief that bullying is embedded in New Zealand culture. A report from the Human Rights Commission and KPMG says the estimated cost of harassment and bullying to businesses is around $1.5 billion. It says the cost to employers is about $1,600 for every worker affected. To sport. The sold-out sign has gone up outside Sky Stadium for tomorrow's second leg A-League football semi-final between the Phoenix and the Melbourne Victory. Liverpool are supporting VAR's continued use in the Premier League next season, despite calls from fellow top-flight club Wolverhampton to scrap the system. And Supercars driver Will Brown has snapped up an opportunity for a NASCAR racing debut on June 9 in California, following the precedents set by Shane van Gisbergen and Brodie Kostecki. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.